Ladies and gentlemen, we are now live. This is the first ever Polish Sharjah investment webinar. We are here to present to all the attendees what Sharjah has to offer. So the name of the event is Invest in Sharjah. It's the 15th of February, 2021. We have many great guests. I'll just cut straight short to the welcome speech. So I'll first ask Mr. Ahmed Al-Mansouri, His Excellency Ahmed Al-Mansouri, who is the head of political, economic and media for the UAE embassy here in Warsaw. So I give the floor to you, Mr. Ahmed, please.
Thank you, Mr. Pani, Panovi, Vitam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Firstly, let me express my gratitude for being invited here with all of you today for this important webinar on investment opportunities for Polish investors in Sharjah. I would also like to express my sincerest appreciation to my friends in Invest Sharjah office for organizing this event that opens up new horizons for strengthening the already existing cordial and friendly relations between the United Arab Emirates and the Republic of Poland. As a strategic hub, the UAE is considered as one of the most important partners economically and touristic partners of the Republic of Poland in the Gulf region and in the Middle East. This partnership could be seen in more than 20 agreements signed between the two countries in various fields, which are crucial for developing and facilitating business, culture, and tourism relations. Please note that the volume of trade exchange amounted to more than $1.1 billion in the year 2019, as the value of Polish exports amounted to more than $900 million and the imports almost $200 million. And there is plenty of room and opportunity for that number to grow. As a proud native of Sharjah, I would like to note that my beautiful Emirate has now become a promising investment area in the United Arab Emirates. And I can therefore say to my Polish friends who are interested in investing that they can seize the available investment opportunities in various fields. The UAE is a desirable market for expansion for small, medium, and big international players. And we've always encouraged Polish investors to look into investing in the UAE, and vice versa to my Emirati countrymen to invest in Poland and all it has to offer, in fields including food security, which has always been a key focus in the UAE, and tourism, real estate and construction, renewable energy, modern technology, information technology, and many other vast fields. The Emirate of Sharjah and the United Arab Emirates grants many privileges and facilities to foreign investors in many fields, which gives Polish investors great opportunities to be seized and utilized. From this web podium, the Embassy of the UAE confirms its support for any activity aimed to strengthen the cooperation between our two friendly countries. And finally, I would like to close by thanking once more all those who contributed to preparing and organizing this event, and expressing my gratitude and appreciation to the Polish government for its unceasing cooperation and assistance to us, which in turn is reflected positively in facilitating the work of the embassy to develop and further grow the bilateral relations between our two countries. I will let my peers now tell you more about my beautiful Emirate. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Mr. Ahmed Al-Mansouri, who is the head of political, economic and media for the UAE embassy here in Warsaw. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your speech, for your kind words. And I will now give the floor to Mr. Paweł Mączka, who is the Vice Consul in the UAE for Poland. Please, Mr. Paweł, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very sorry, I must have clicked the wrong link, and I'm here as Mr. Grzegorz Szląkowski, but that's not my name. My name is Paweł Mączka. I have been working at the Polish Embassy in Abu Dhabi for 4 years now. As introduced, I'm a Vice Consul, but first and foremost, I'm the third secretary of the Political and Economical Division, and this is the capacity I'm here today. Well, I'm very excited to be here because I think Sharjah, we observe Sharjah's rise since a couple of years now, and it is absolutely safe to say that Sharjah is now the third most important, most interesting emirate in the UAE after Abu Dhabi and Dubai. The times are interesting for the UAE as a whole. We have seen 2020 as a year of a major reconsolidation of its political and economical priorities in the UAE. Such moments are always good moments for foreign investment, for interest from new partners. I think we can all agree that the two most important events in last year were the Abraham Accords, which have reshuffled the Gulf and the Middle East and normalized the relations of the UAE with Israel. Which can be important for Polish investors who are looking to find a place of their own in the UAE or in Sharjah. Many Polish companies have very successful experiences, contracts, and contacts in Israel. Now is a perfect time to utilize those experiences, to utilize this knowledge, to utilize those contacts to become more competitive in the UAE. Of course, we're all facing a challenging time because of the obvious reasons, but the UAE has been very successful in fighting COVID too. Last week has seen another big event, the landing of the Hope mission in Mars. The UAE has become the fifth global player who reached Mars. So it's a very exciting time in the UAE. As for Sharjah, we have observed how it is an emirate that has an idea how to present itself, how to compete with Abu Dhabi and Dubai, who are incomparably bigger. But Sharjah has drawn a lot of attention by its dedication to culture. Poland has been present in the book fairs in Sharjah, which are very important, and in many other cultural undertakings in Sharjah. And we are aware that Sharjah is trying to position itself right now in this steady third place in the UAE. So I'm here. I would like to answer all questions if such will appear. We are happy to support our businessmen along with the trade office in Dubai. Hi, Mr. Adil. We can support you also in the consular capacity. Right now, there's limitations due to COVID. If you have questions about this, I'm happy to answer. We are at your disposal. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Paweł. Mr. Paweł Moczka, who is a vice consul, also the third secretary, responsible for economic matters at the Polish embassy in the UAE and Abu Dhabi. And now, let me give the floor to His Excellency, Mr. Marwan Al-Sarkal, who is the Executive Chairman of Sharjah Development and Investment Authority. Please.
Assalamu alaikum to all of my colleagues here. I'm so overwhelmed, happy to see the number of speakers, to have the first virtual seminar between Sharjah and the Polish economy, Polish economic group. It is nice to get together with all of those tough time that we are going through, to say that business is moving ahead. We are here to grow our relationship. I'm so proud to see the United Arab Emirates is one of the most important markets for the Polish investors. What I would like to say is Sharjah is an emirate for the past 50 years had a focus on education, a focus on technology and innovation, a focus on small and medium-sized businesses, and many companies that had started from Sharjah are actually becoming globally well-known. Since the beginning of 2009, when Shuruq was established as the Sharjah Investment and Development Authority, our main objective was to attract partners with us within Shuruq to develop different sectors, whether it's the tourism sector, or whether it's the recycling sector, or whether it's the environment sector, or the education sector. We've managed to develop many projects with investors from around the globe. We can say that we were opening our arms to the Polish investors to come look at those opportunities in Sharjah, develop a long-term relationship. We believe that there is a lot to be done. If we go to the trade numbers, we see that almost 10 million dirhams of export figures between Sharjah and Poland by 2020. We would love that number to increase. We would love that the Polish investors make use of Sharjah being a geographical location for those investors. We are advanced when it comes to our seaports facilities. We have 3 seaports located in Sharjah. We can say that the United Arab Emirates created a magnificent program undertaking the way of how entities were supported in the toughest time of COVID-19. And we've seen that the economy of the United Arab Emirates have managed to, I would say, to overcome some of those challenges, but not all of those challenges. We can tell our Polish investors a bit about our economy. Sharjah's economy is a highly diversified economy. It doesn't depend on oil and gas. It depends on a lot of other industries. Real estate is an important industry. The industrial region is an important impact of the economy of Sharjah. We have a focus on the future to drive investments into innovation, into agriculture, into aquaculture, into IoT, into renewable energy. And we believe that there is a lot of Polish investors that have managed to focus on those sectors. And we can say that this is that might be the first seminar that we are doing between Sharjah and Poland, but this should be something that we keep on developing. The more we get together, the more we get to know what are the opportunities for the investors from Sharjah to invest in Poland, or from the investors in Poland that would like to invest into Sharjah. And at the end, I would like to thank you all for being here, for giving us this opportunity to strengthen the relationship between Sharjah, United Arab Emirates, and Poland. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. His Excellency Marwan Al-Sarkal, who is the Executive Chairman of Sharjah Development and Investment Authority. And last but not least, in the welcome address section, Mr. Grzegorz Tomkowski, who is the Executive Vice President of the Polish Investment and Trade Agency. Please, Mr. Grzegorz.
Good morning, all honorable participants on this event. Let me say first few words about Polish Development Fund. Just to give you an idea, we are the group which takes care of COVID in Poland, which can give you an idea about the importance of our group. We are a group of Polish Development Fund institutions created with a particular statutory goal to develop Poland. Polish Development Group consists of 6 companies, including Development Fund, National Bank, Holding Bank, Polish Investment and Trade Agency, which I represent, Export Credit Insurance Corporation, Industrial Development Agency, and Polish Agency for Enterprise Development. I'm in charge of Polish Investment and Trade Agency, which has 2 basic goals. First, to support Polish export. We are present on more than 70 destinations worldwide. Then we support foreign investment, FDI support in Poland. Just to tell you, Dubai has, of course, proud #1 as the best economic zone in the world, but the second one is in Poland, in Katowice, special economic zone. So which gives you also hint that we do really attract also foreign investments. Just to give you some numbers, my team currently is running more than 200 projects in total value of 9.5 billion euro in various types of industries in Poland. We, of course, also support Polish investments abroad, giving them support, various support. And our last but not least activity is just promotion of Poland and Polish companies worldwide. Therefore, we are nominated by our government to prepare Polish Expo Dubai pavilion. and we will hold this event in the name of Poland. I'm very glad that we can initiate our cooperation. I do hope for further development, and I think that Invest in Sharjah event for Polish investors will be followed by Invest in Poland event for Sharjah investors. So thank you very much, and more details you will learn during our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Grzegorz. Mr. Grzegorz Słomkowski, who is the Executive Vice President of the Polish Investment and Trade Agency. Dear guests, now that we are past the welcome address section, we'll move to the panels. First, we'll have the Sharjah panel, then the Polish panel. And as we have identified, there are two main obstacles for Polish investors going abroad. The first is the lack of information, and the second is the lack of financing. So today we have come up with solutions to these two problems. First, we'll have the Sharjah panel, where the Sharjah panelists will present information about Sharjah, why is it such a great place to invest, and then the Polish panel to present the Polish offer for Polish investors abroad in terms of financing. So first, let's go to the Sharjah panel. I would like to introduce His Excellency Dr. Khalid Al-Mitfa, who is the chairman of the Sharjah Media City, Shams. Your Excellency, I would like to ask you the first question, which is, could you please provide a brief about Sharjah Media City, how it is different than other free zones, please?
Thank you very much, and allow me please to thank the organization of this good event, and I welcome all attendees actually who want to know more about the investment in Sharjah. Yes, Sharjah Media City, Shams, which translates as sun or the sun, is a digitally born free zone or a special economic zone, which is launched in the year of 2017 with the intention of becoming a leading media free zone in the region. So the vision is to act as a catalyst for creative and media businesses to grow, thrive, and lend a helping hand to the entrepreneurs looking to embark on their creative journeys. So with an infrastructure that emulates the international standards, Shams aims to be a regional leader in media and creativity sector, whilst providing a variety of resources to generate high quality content. So our services are curated to create cost-effective solutions for the SMEs, established companies, freelancers that can help them easily embark on their entrepreneurial journey. So under the umbrella of Shams, we have for the businesses the opportunity to choose from a wide ranges of business activities with an over 120 business activities available to be licensed under this umbrella. We provide startups an opportunity to enter the business industry. So the intention for Shams is to make setting up the businesses seamless, and to provide actually the opportunity for them to grow, thrive, and to support the growth that they are intending. With the knowledge of the creativity of the Polish people, of the Polish companies, we know that there are a lot of them already acting in the TV and cinema production and the related businesses. So for those actually creative people, the creativity is what we're looking for here to support them, for them to enter into this market, and from this market to serve the region that they are, which is around the UAE. So for us, we look forward actually to be contacted, and we are available from our website, shams.ae, and we will be welcoming any question, any interaction that we can get from out of or later on of this event. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Dr. Khalid Al-Mitfa, who represents the Shams, Sharjah Media City. Now I have one question to Mr. Mohammed Al-Musharraf, who is the CEO of Sharjah FDI office, Invest in Sharjah, which is a sister company, let's say, to Polish Investment and Trade Agency. So Mr. Mohammed, please tell us more about the Invest in Sharjah office. What's its role in driving the economy of the Emirate of Sharjah?
Sure. First of all, Jack, let me thank you and the Polish Trade Agency for co-organizing this event with us, and special thanks actually to the UAE Embassy in Poland and the Polish Embassy in UAE for being part of this. I mean, we can see that we have around 90 people attending this event, which shows that there is huge interest actually from both sides to do business and to increase the volume of investments we have between the two countries. And I should say that I was glad to visit Poland, Warsaw, end of 2019, just before COVID starts. So Poland will always remain somewhere special for me. We also visited the PAIH Expo 2019 at the Narodoy Stadium, a great stadium. I still have some nice photos of the amazing stadium that we have seen actually. Talking about Sharjah, as some of the speaker mentioned, that Sharjah is the third largest emirate in the UAE. We have one international airport, which is the base of Air Arabia. We have 3 different ports, 2 on the Arabian Gulf, 1 on the Indian Ocean, which gives us an advantage when it comes to logistics sector because of the unique location that these ports have, and of course because of the unique location that Sharjah has. And on the map of the UAE, we are connecting Abu Dhabi and Dubai to the rest of the Northern Emirates actually. So Sharjah is also well known as the industrial capital of the UAE. We have around 35% of the total industries and manufacturing in the UAE here in the Emirate of Sharjah. I mean, after my presentation or my speech, we will hear more about the future of the manufacturing, which is driven by the research and technology part. We are focusing on a new sectors, more focused on technology like the 3D printing, the AI, and the blockchain. And as His Excellency Mr. Marwan mentioned, the agrotech and the aquatech. So we also have other free zones. The total number of the free zones that we have in the Emirate of Sharjah are 6 different free zones. We have Hamriya free zone, which is attached to Hamriya port, and they cater for large industries and marine industries. Then we have and food industries as well. Then we have a safe zone, which is Sharjah International Airport free zone. They cater to logistics sector, light manufacturing and offices. Then we have a publishing city also, which is also considered as a free zone, and it's the first publishing free zone in the whole world. And then we have definitely Sharjah Media Zone and the Sharjah Research and Technology Park, who are participating with us today. I mean, Sharjah has a great competitive advantage also for Polish companies to be based here in the Emirate of Sharjah and use the facilities and the infrastructure that we have for exporting various products from Sharjah ports and Sharjah International Airport. Currently, we have around 81 Polish companies registered in the Emirate of Sharjah. 33 of these Polish companies are registered at the economic development. So they have probably local partners. And then we have around 51 Polish companies registered in the various free zones that we have in the Emirate of Sharjah. Our role actually is to guide these Polish investors or investors in general on different business opportunities and investment opportunities that we have. And for those who are interested, we actually help them to set up their companies in the fastest way. We have recently launched a new investor services center where these investors can come and finalize their government related processes and procedures under one roof and in less than 60 minutes. In our investor services center, there is an option also to apply not only for mainland companies, but also for free zone companies. And especially currently, we are working closely with the colleagues from Sharjah Media City to speed up the process of setting up these companies for investors. So we are always there for investors, whether it is related to investment opportunities in the Emirate of Sharjah or whether it is to speed up the process of investment in the Emirate of Sharjah. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Mohammed. Mr. Mohammed Al-Musharrah, who is the CEO of the Sharjah FDI office, set up a company under 60 minutes, and there's over 81 Polish companies registered in Sharjah. These are impressive numbers and just show how interesting this destination is. Now I would like to give the floor to Mr. Ali Sajwani, who is the Director of Technology Transfer and Projects for Sharjah Research, Technology and Innovation Park. Mr. Ali, I'm sure your speech will be very interesting to Polish companies, as many of the attendees are from the technology sector. So could you please give us a short introduction about SRTI Park and how it develops? Thank you.
Sure. Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon or good morning, everyone. Thank you for inviting us to be part of the panel. So the Sharjah Research, Technology and Innovation Park was established with the leadership vision to support Sharjah being the education hub within the United Arab Emirates. The Sharjah Research and Technology Innovation Park role is based on bringing the triple helix or supporting the triple helix parties by connecting government, business, and academia together. The park is actually a subsidiary of the American University of Sharjah Enterprises, so it is attached more towards the academic side. We play a big role into providing an environment or an ecosystem for both academic staff like PhD students or graduate students, as well as startup companies and technology companies who are interested to come and work in this region and especially in Sharjah. We focus on 6 different verticals, which are the interest of the park, and they are all based on the emerging technologies. So with the first vertical which we focus on is the water technology and the water related industries to help the environment. Second vertical we focus on is for the production, design and architecture. For the third one, we focus on the mobility, logistics and smart cities. The fourth vertical is around healthcare, technology and digitization. The fifth vertical is around renewable energy, the alternative energy, the solar and others. And the sixth, last but not least, is the environmental technology and circular economy. Given the fact that the park is located in the university district, we have access to 47,000 students locally here around the park, spread across 22 universities with 2,000 PhD students. We have so far attracted close to 95 companies who are tenants of the park. The park here actually provides also, being a free zone, we also provide trade licenses to the members or the tenants of the park, as well as office space and access, like I said earlier, to the academic university and to the government and to the business side. We have managed over the past 2 years, actually the park is almost, I would say, 2 years since the active inception. We started in 2016, but we've been very active in the past 2 years. We have managed to collect an investment worth of $100 million in the past 2 years, invested into the park by international and local players. We've also managed to have 6 anchor projects in the past 2 years in the different fields which we spoke about. Our reach is not only local, our reach is global. We are reaching universities and science park, research institutions all across the globe, from the US to South Korea to Europe and Germany and UK and Finland and so on. In the park today, we have some interesting activities and industries that are already set up in the park. We have a very active 3D printing, both printing concrete as well as printing plastic and metal. We also have the base of a Belarusian company called Skyway, which is specialized in cable trains. And they have a very interesting technology that they have set up in the park here as a starting point. We also have a company called Merlin, which is focusing on agriculture technology. We also do a lot of activities around the research and development in the 5G fields and in many other areas. We also host multiple events throughout the year. We have a very active webinar schedule of almost around 15 to 16 webinars per month. We also have this year and on 23rd and 24th of the month, we are launching a Women in Technology session, which will be virtual. We are for anybody who is invited. I will place the link of the park also in the chat. Please visit us and where you are very much welcome to elaborate with us. We also recently launched a Sharjah angel investor group with the funds that's available to invest into innovative and creative technologies for anybody who is willing to or have some idea that is of an interest. You are most than welcome to talk to us. And like I said, our main concept here is to encourage startup and technology companies to come and find the right place for them to test their innovative ideas. We have a maker space where you can test and do 3D printing for almost all sorts of material. We are also in the stage of setting up a sandbox for 5G, a sandbox for advanced technologies, and also a sandbox for cryptocurrency. This is a summary of what the park is providing today, and you are most than welcome to get in touch with us for further information. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ali, for mentioning this variety of sectors. I'm sure everybody can find their spot in Sharjah. I also wanted to inform all the attendees, all the honorable attendees, that after the seminar we'll send out materials, also contact details, so you can connect with, for example, Sharjah Research Technology Innovation Park or Sharjah Media City or Sharjah FDI office. Also with us to get to know more about Sharjah, what it has to offer, and how we are here to support you. And now I would like to ask one question to His Excellency Dr. Khalid. The question is coming from Polish companies because they would like to know what the barriers the entrepreneurs face when they start their business in the UAE, in Sharjah, and how your economic zone can help in overcoming them.
Thank you very much. Very good question. Actually, the first barrier that we try in Shams to support the entrepreneurs to help and them to overcome is the existence, i.e. the licensing. This is the main thing that usually entrepreneurs face and in order to start their business. So a plus, of course, which is related to that is the banking relationship. A business is not a running business without a bank account. So here we have actually managed to arrange and to have good relationship actually with the banking sector for the companies that are going to be licensed within Sharjah Media City to have a speedy process as part of the KYC process of the banks for them to get to open the bank accounts. And we've managed to do that with not all the banks, but a good number of banks actually. This is one. A second is for these entrepreneurs to reach the market. I mean, this is an effort that we believe is a hurdle with a dynamic economy like the UAE. And here we have actually started several, initiatives specialized within the media and creativity sector in order to open up actually the make the ability of these entrepreneurs reach their get the knowledge of the intended market for them. So and I mean it's some of these initiatives are related to, for example, training as well. We believe that some of the entrepreneurs might be having some or little knowledge actually about the running of the business. So we have a good number of training and workshops intended for improving the knowledge of these entrepreneurs. We have also managed to sign, and we're intending to increase that actually with regard to the finances. We've signed with one organization that can provide financing for the entrepreneurs for them to grow their businesses. And we have a good relationship also with the local organization also in that front, i.e. the financing of the companies. And these are the two that I'm talking about within Sharjah is Ruwad and Shira. So we have a good relationship with them. For those companies that are eligible for getting these supporting finances, we even provide discounted licensing prices for them in support to these entrepreneurs to get further into the business that they are embarking. And definitely it is not enough, but we also go into participating in big events and provide that participation as a platform for the entrepreneurs to present themselves. So we book a space within big events. Of course, that was before COVID. And in those events, we offer them as and free of charge for the entrepreneurs, for the companies to come and present themselves on those platforms in those big events. So this is again another front that we thought will be helpful for the entrepreneurs, for those companies licensed in Shams to get and to benefit from.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Dr. Khalid. Also now one question to Mr. Mohammed from Invest in Sharjah. This is the first ever Polish Sharjah investment webinar. We as Polish Investment Trade Agency trying to do our best to showcase to Polish investors all the destinations. But today we are taking under the microscope Sharjah. So I would like to ask you, what makes Sharjah an attractive destination? And what are the most promising sectors for Polish investors who are looking to expand their business in the Middle East, Asia, Africa, all around the world?
Sure. I mean, what makes Sharjah as an ideal investment destination, maybe we We spoke about the location of Sharjah, the different free zones. I mean, we have heard today from Dr. Khalid and Mr. Ali how it is easy for entrepreneurs and for startups to come and do their business within, I mean, a day or 2 days, getting the license, getting the support when it comes to opening a bank account, having a center such as the Sharjah Investor Services Center, Saeed, an umbrella for all government entities and for investors to come and finalize anything related to setting up in the Emirate of Sharjah and finishing all of this process in 60 minutes is something that would definitely encourage people to come and invest in Sharjah. And I mean, we as an FDI office also do a free consultancy for these investors. So they don't have to go to lawyers or for legal consultancies to tell them what is the process and who to approach and what are the legalities and different frameworks available for investors in the Emirate of Sharjah or UAE. And recently, the law of foreign direct investment has changed. Currently, all investors can come and have or own their companies 100% without any local partners. So this will encourage more and more companies actually to look at the UAE in general and to look at the Emirate of Sharjah. In terms of sectors that we are focusing on, we are actually currently focusing on food security as a sector. So we are looking at attracting companies in agriculture technology and aqua technology as well. Tourism. And when I say tourism today, I mean archaeological tourism, for example, ecotourism. These are the things that we are looking at. We are providing unique experiences for tourists. So we would like companies to come and invest in these lodges or ecotourism resorts. Again, we spoke about technology and the opportunities that we have today with the research and technology park in terms of 3D printing, in terms of blockchain, in terms of drones, for example. This is the focus, I think, in the future. Of course, without forgetting the manufacturing and the industries. But again, even here, we are looking at advanced manufacturing, actually.
Okay, Mr. Mohammed, so pretty much innovation and all the niches and new sectors, even when it comes to tourism. Now I would like to ask the last question in this panel. So we'll finish the Sharjah panel, then we'll have the Polish panel, and we'll finish up with the Q&A, so open discussion. So my last question is to Mr. Ali Sajwani from the Sharjah Research Technology and Innovation Park. How do you see the research and development sector growing and improving in the UAE? What is the role of the park in attracting investors to the UAE?
So thank you for the great question. Actually, today we are in touch with, like I said, with multiple academic institutions all across the globe. And if I give you example of the work that we have done so far with the American University of Sharjah, we have approached them for 3 different projects where we see that there is a demand from some of the clients that we are in touch with and recently. So first of all, the 3D printing project which we have done so far, we are in touch with the professors in the American University of Sharjah to try to find a way to improve the motor that is used for the printing of the houses, and we are in touch with them, and we have seen some good movement actually. And this actually gives a lot of encouragement for the PhD students and for the professors in the university to apply some of their academic work into the real life. The other work which we are also doing with the American University of Sharjah is the introduction of a conductive concrete, which is used for the locations which are the highly secure, to ensure that there is a full protection against electromagnetic waves. A third project which we are also working is on the exoskeleton. We're trying to build the equipment that can support and can empower the strength of the body, and for people who have had some sort of injuries. So I personally see a lot of opportunities today. There are different. We are inviting anybody who has a research paper with some promising ideas that they would like to take it first into the proof of concept stage to prove the idea, and then take it forward into commercialization. Actually, my team and myself, we are focusing on transferring those type of ideas from being on a white paper all the way to become successful businesses, starting as a startups and then eventually also growing up. Given our connection with all the three verticals that we spoke about, we can support from connecting to the universities, we can support by connecting to the startup community and the private sector, and also we can also connect the ideas which we have which we feel are very useful to be consumed by our clients, both on the government sector and also on the corporate private sector.
Thank you, Mr. Ali. This was to sum up the Sharjah panel. As I have said, now we will move to the Polish panel. So what we would like to do is to present the financing offer from the Polish Development Fund. We'll have guests from the Polish National Development Bank, Foreign Expansion Fund, and Export Credit Agency. Then we will open the Q&A session and open discussion. We have a few questions coming from our attendees. These consider opening a branch in the UAE, about costs, about opening a production plant, but we will leave them for later. Now we'll present the financing offer for Polish investors abroad. And I would like first to present Mr. Wojciech Jabłoński, who is the investment manager for the Foreign Expansion Fund, or the PFRTFE. Mr. Wojciech, the floor is yours, please.
Hello, good morning. Assalamu alaikum. Dear participants, it's a great pleasure and honor for me to participate today during this meeting. I would like to shortly present the basic information concerning the Polish International Development Fund. Sometimes we also used to name the fund as the Polish International Expansion Fund, and we concentrate on co-investments with the Polish entities interested in the investment projects abroad. It's crucial for the fund that we invest only abroad and only as the co-investor, minority co-investor with the Polish entities. Let me show you just the few slides. Is it fine? Could you see?
Yes, we can see it now. Thank you.
Thank you. So the Polish International Fund provides the co-financing for the foreign investments of the Polish companies. For the last 6 years, the fund already signed the 17 investments agreements for the amount around of 80 million euros. And the investments of all parties involved into this project amounted near to 260 million of euros. I mean all parts because in this amount there is a number of investments from the fund and from our partners, Polish partners, banks or local partners. And the basic principles of our co-investments, as I already told you, that the fund invest only abroad, only outside of the Poland, and what we can invest in. if the investment projects concern the acquisition of a competitor or the distributor, we can try to participate in some M&A transactions due to the brand acquisition. And some Polish investors, some Polish entities, they are looking for the possibilities to be closer to the markets. They would like to build the new plant outside of the Poland, or they would like to invest into the warehouse, logistic warehouse. Our typical investment tickets starts from 3 million euros up to 12.5. Of course, we can have we can try to invest a little bit more or a little bit more, a little bit less or a little bit more, but it's only special situations. Of course, it means that if from our side the possible investment tickets it's around 3 million, the minimum worth of the project should be minimum 6 million, as we expect, as another 3 million will be put into the project from our Polish partner. And the funding we provide, we can provide as a debt or as the equity. Our investment strategy is that before 10 years of our investment, we should have the visibility how we can finish this investment and how we can go out from this project. As I told, the fund is a minority investor, and the operational management remains in the hand of the Polish partner. And this composition is preferred sometimes, or even quite often, by the Polish investors, as they would like to be the host of the project and to run this project. The fund is sector and geography agnostic, so it means that we can invest in all over the world, just with some exclusions, and in all sectors. This is our investment process. I'm not going to go deep into this. I would just stop on this first phase, the contact. So we will be really appreciate if you will be contacted by the Polish partners, Polish entities interested in the financing, and if you could just network with us or with our colleagues from the Polish International Investment Agency. The first assessment of this investment project is kind of free of any charges, and it's from our side it's promised that we will try to assess shortly in 1-2 weeks, just to say if it's possible to develop the relations. And if we will start the project and we see the visibility of possibility to finalize, the fastest way to finalize, it's like in 3 months we can try to sign up the documents and to pay out money from our side. And our actual investments, I'm sorry, but they are not located yet in the Middle East or in the Emirates, but we will be, well, we are still looking for, and we are interested in the possibilities to invest all over the world. Most of our investments, they are concentrated in Europe, the European Union, and 2 of them, they are outside in United States and Canada. So, like from my side, I finished this basic informations. What can I say? What we observe from our practice, that activities of Polish entities. Mostly they are the exporters of the goods, services and technology. And from point of view of the Polish International Fund, we can try to fit in all those projects. They are not the natural for the fund like we are, but we can try to fit. And on the other hand, we observe the typical investments like invest like M&A transactions and then the new factors or the new plants, warehouses. For now, we are assessing two projects which are going to be located in the Emirates. So I hope that thanks to today's meeting, if the projects will go deep and on the next phases, I think that today's session it will be very useful, and I will have contacts to try to send some questions or learn more about this investment. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wojciech. As I have mentioned before, we'll send out all the materials to all the attendees after the event, so you will get to see all the presentation, all the details. Also, you can connect with each of us here. Mr. Wojciech, just one last question to you. Thank you for your presentation. So how do you see Sharjah so far? Do you think it's an interesting investment destination? You have mentioned there are two ongoing projects at the moment. Can you tell a little bit more about these projects?
I can mention one of these projects, the sector. It's connected with investment in healthcare. But I'm not going to tell you more about this project. It's still in the healthcare sector.
Okay, thank you. Of course, it's confidential, but it's good to know that there is something going on.
Yes, and about the Sharjah, from my perspective, it sounds interesting, and I hope that the Polish companies will find this place as the right spot for the operations.
Hopefully, yes. Thank you, Mr. Wojciech. Mr. Wojciech from the Foreign Expansion Fund, who is the investment manager. Now,
yes, sirs, I have to say I'm sorry from my side, but I have to finish at 11 the Warsaw time. So thank you very much for the possibility to participate in this meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Wojciech.
Thank you.
Now we'll move to Mr. Arkadiusz Zabłoński, who is the director at the Polish National Development Bank, BGK. Mr. Arkadiusz, can you please introduce to us the Polish National Development Bank and its offer to Polish investors?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for the invitation. It's a great honor and pleasure to take place in this webinar. Talking about BGK, it's very important to distinguish the difference between the commercial bank and the National Promotion Bank. As you know, commercial bank is to provide financial services to general business and based on the credit policy. However, the National Promotion Bank are carrying not only the financial activity, but also the development and promotional activities based on the mandate of the state treasury. And that's the fact about BGK. We are not a commercial bank. We have been founded in 1924. We are the only public sector bank in Poland. We have a dedicated governing legislation. We are not subject to bankruptcy law. State treasury provides capital and liquidity if there is such need. And the principal economic rationale for a promotional bank, I mean the Polish Development Bank that we operate here in Poland, is to overcome market failures, which may significantly impact the business environment. And in the past 10 years, we have experienced two such huge failures. One of them, it was the financial crisis caused by the subprime mortgages in the United States. And the second one is, of course, the COVID pandemic. We as a BGK, we respond to the needs of this of the market. We follow the initiatives of our government. We support the government macroeconomic policy. We support regional development in Poland. We provide financing to huge investment and infrastructure projects in Poland. We provide guarantees to the small and medium enterprises. We handle the governmental surplus liquidity, which is a basic cash pool in Poland between the national and companies. What is very important from our point of view is that we look through the prism of the market need. We are not focused on earning money, of course, the bank has to do it. However, our rationale is to support the Polish economy. Therefore, from our end, it's crucial to support the Polish entrepreneurs. And having discussed these issues about how BGK responds to the market needs, right now we would like to focus more on expansion of Polish companies abroad. First of all, we support Polish exporters by financing the export contracts, and we do support Polish investors outside. We can do it in different ways, and normally you should distinguish between the roles of the Polish investors in both transactions. First is when the Polish company is a classical exporter, what means that we finance an export contract, so we provide a financing to the buyer or to the bank's buyer. We can have different products, different structures. All of them are aimed to support Polish companies outside of Poland. And the second scheme, I would say, is to support Polish companies who are willing to invest in foreign markets. We have a lot of products. The basic that we have are the same products what other national promotional banks are doing worldwide. Would it be possible to have a presentation, Jacek, please?
Yes, it's coming. Just give me a second. Can you see it now?
Yeah, the next, please. Next slide. As you can see, our balance sheet is around 24 billion euro. Equity is around 4.5 billion euro. We have a huge insolvency ratio, which is around 29%. Rating is A- by Fitch. As I've mentioned already, 100% state-owned. And as you can see, our mission is to support the social and economic development of Poland. We got 16 regions in Poland. We got also 4 foreign offices in Frankfurt, Brussels, London, and Amsterdam. Next, please. As I've mentioned, we support Polish enterprises seeking for different financial products. Of course, we can overcome just one barrier while the company is thinking about expansion, and this is the financing. So we have a different approach to different transactions. We can make it as a tailor-made solution. However, we got some of course, basic products like foreign guarantees. We support the companies by arranging a financing and investment financing of the projects that can be arranged outside of Poland in different countries. We increase the security of the settlement. We can accept the risk of insolvency on the counterparty. We can improve the liquidity. We can pre-finance the export contract. There are a lot of ways to do it. Next, please. Here we got a basic products. These are the products. If you see the first 2 columns is a governmental program, financial support for exporters. The program has been launched in 2009. The first transaction came in 2010. We can have 2 ways to do these transactions. Either it is a direct financing. This is the long-term facility. It's a buyer's credit. Here we arrange a credit facility for the buyer, which means the local company. It can be a local company, it can be a joint venture between the Polish and the local partner. We can provide the financing subject to the export contract between the Polish exporter and the local buyer. We can arrange this credit facility directly from Poland. We have an insurance, which is the insurance. Our receivables against the borrower are insured in ECA Export Credit Agency, which we'll hear later on. We can also do the business, whatever, on short-term or long-term facilities with a local bank. Here we take the risk of the local partner, and the local partner sublends this money towards the final customer. And we can base the documentation here either on a credit documentation. This is the buyer's bank credit, or based the transaction on the letter of credit with different options of confirming, discounting, post-financing. On the right side, you see the investment of Polish companies abroad. Here is our mandate, which we have launched actually in 2015, where we provide a financing in different structures. It's a corporate financing, it's a project finance outside of Poland, where the Polish company acts as an investor, not only as an exporter, but as an investor. It would be good to have a transaction when we can combine both schemes, when we have a Polish investor or a joint venture, and additional to have an export contract executed by the Polish companies. Wojciech Jabłoński informed you about the International Expansion Fund. It's worth to underline that BGK is an investor in this fund. So we, as the only bank in Poland, can combine equity and the debt side at the same time. And we have examples for that. Next, please. Our exposure, as you see, we have provided here the map from since 2014. So we operate and we have experience on 6 continents in 73 countries. We support Polish entrepreneurs on different markets. And of course, if you look at the risk associated with the transaction, you can see that the financing of the export is usually dedicated to the high-risk countries like Belarus, Russia, Ukraine, or Africa. Here in these areas, we provide just the financing, and Polish company acts as an exporter. To more stable countries, we observe as, let's say, European Union or United States, Canada, where Polish investors are very eager to invest. Of course, that's the diversification of risk. And first, you want to be present on the local market with your products, and then you think about the investments. We have various products, and having in mind our mission that we support Polish companies, I think and I believe that we can provide attractive conditions resulting from the strategy of supporting Polish entrepreneurs outside of Poland. And the last slide, you got a couple of transactions that we have executed recently. You can have, as you see, you got an M&A transaction in France, Great Britain, Hungary, some power plant construction in Indonesia. We can have huge transactions like the one in Chile, $200 million, or the one that is 1 million euro in Mali, supporting of export contract to support trailers. However, we are active also in construction industry. We reached financing for construction of hotel in Greece. We do the real estate transactions in Belarus, in Ukraine, provide financing to support export of mining equipment in Mexico and Russia, and also construction of production plants in different continents, in China, India, and Mexico. The last comment from my side would be, whatever you need, and if you find that lack of finance can be a real obstacle to make an investment decision, we are here to support. We are here to discuss. And I have never seen, I'm in banking business since 1992, I have never seen a good transactions that haven't reached a financial close. So whenever you got your need to have a good business concept, we as bank, we as National Promotion Bank, the Development Bank of Poland, we are very happy to support you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Arkadiusz. Thank you for this presentation. I would like to also hear your few cents about Sharjah. What do you think about what have been presented so far? Do you think it's an attractive destination?
Yeah, I would say that it was very, very impressive. When I'm talking about lack of finance, because of course any investments needs finance, and when I've heard that there are 81 companies registered, I am in BGK since 2011, and I have just one discussion with Polish entrepreneur to have a discussion about a possible financing in United Arab Emirates. So I don't think that there would be a problem with financing. I think that there is a huge capital potential over there. Of course, if there would be a need for BGK to step into the transaction, would be very eager to make a club deal, a syndication between the local partner and the Polish companies. But from answering your question regarding potential, I think that everything is there. And there's infrastructure, huge diversity of economy, which is not linked to oil and gas, but you put huge effort to expand the business in technology. You get universities, students, people over there, and of course, attractive tax and regulations. I think that, yeah, from our perspective, we'd be very, very happy if we can make our step forward and to finance any transaction on United Arab Emirates.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Arkadiusz. Now we'll move to Mr. Maciej Kwiatkowski, who is an expert at the Export Credit Agency, KUKE. Mr. Maciej, could you present to us what is the Export Credit Agency, what it has to offer in terms of insurance for the investments abroad, please?
Yes, of course. Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon to everybody. It's a great pleasure to take a part in this webinar. Thank you very much for invitation. First of all, I will tell you a few words about KUKE. What is KUKE? What we can do for you. Just a second. I'm about to share the screen. Okay. Can you see my presentation?
We can see. We can see.
Yes. Okay, KUKE, who we are. KUKE is an official Polish export credit agency. We are on the market for actually almost 30 years. We exist on the market. We are 100% of our shares are held by state treasury. So we are very similar like a BGK bank. We are part of Polish Development Fund. We are in the one group. I tell you a little bit more about that on the next slide. What is very important for KUKE to understand what we do? We are the only one institution in Poland authorized to provide export insurance backed by state treasury. So only KUKE can support export with state treasury guarantees and other insurance product. In other words, we are official export credit agency, as in other countries. Other countries, they also have official export credit agencies, like Hermes in Germany. we are the same kind of company. We are 190 professionals working in in the headquarters in Warsaw and also in some offices in Poland. I will skip to the most important slide of my presentation to understand what is KUKE. We are like two companies. First is the orange circle. We are like a standard insurance company. We do trade insurance, we do guarantees, we do it like a market company. And the second circle is what we call export credit agency. We are rating the same as rating of Poland, which is A-, and the products we do for exporters are covered by state treasury. And the last slide, as I mentioned earlier, we are part of PFR Group together with Bank BGK. Very often we cooperate on the transactions. We do covers for Bank BGK as an insurance cover for their credits, but we also cooperate with other banks in Poland and also foreign banks. So I think this is in the short presentation, that's enough about KUKE. If you have any question, please feel free to contact us.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Maci. If you could just stop sharing the presentation. I have done this now.
Okay.
Now it has come to almost the end. I would like to ask Adil Abdul Wahab from our Dubai office to sum up the presentation so far. Tell us about his role also in supporting investments in the UAE, not only Dubai, but also Sharjah. Then I will have one question to the Sharjah panelists, and I think we'll sum up. So thank you, Adil, for your presence here. Now the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for having me. And first of all, I would like to thank Mr. Muhammad al-Musharrif in particular, because we started these initiatives early together. So Muhammad al-Musharrif, thank you very much for your support in bringing this activity to success. And as I have mentioned, or I have seen through this presentation, we have listened to a couple of very interesting things, and as a sum up of this, or as a kind of a sum up, we found out that Sharjah is a very attractive investment opportunities, very welcome, with a very welcoming climate for Polish companies, with the political will and blessing from both sides to make those investments successfully. And also we have observed a couple of supportive tools, financial tools, to make those investment opportunities successfully. And looking at all those investment tools, also we've seen that those investment tools are supported by world-class experts that can deliver all those services. So I'm very glad to participate in this event. And I would like to explain the role of the Foreign Bureau in Dubai. Our role, in fact, can concentrate around two things mainly. Knowledge sharing. It means we're talking here about offering all companies that are interested to invest in United Arab Emirates or in Sharjah, webinars, market trend analysis and reporting that will be prepared by us, questions to be answered both online and offline. Any Polish company is very welcome to visit our office, to contact us directly and to ask questions. And also networking. We are supporting all Polish companies on networking. Jacek, I would appreciate very much if you will share with us one slide that clearly explain all those issues, or should I share my slide?
I think Adil, it's better if you share it, as I don't have it open.
Okay. So I'm sharing my screen. So as you can see, this is where we have all our activities. As I said, the knowledge sharing part. On the other hand, also we are talking about the operational support. We are not limiting our activities in just knowledge sharing. We are supporting Polish companies in contacts with local administration. We are supporting and organizing business missions. We are supporting on organizing also B2B meetings. We are making our office space accessible for any Polish company that is interested to organize any meeting with local partners. And also we are supporting with all the logistic activities related to those B2B meetings. All these activities also are backed up and supported by great team with a deep industry knowledge, enthusiasm, and faith in our mission to support Polish companies. So those are mainly our duties as a foreign office in Dubai. Last but not least, I would like to come back to our major event for this year, Expo. And one of the key elements that we are organizing, or it will be organized, is the economical program. And from here, I would like to direct a direct invitation to all parties interested to participate in our Poland United Arab Emirates Economic Forum in December. In December 6th. This economic forum, I think, will be a very good platform where Polish companies and Emirates companies can meet and make a discussion. Please follow the website of Expo.gov.pl and register for this event. This is all I wanted to share with you. Thank you very much again for helping make this event that successful.
Thank you, Adil. Now I think we have come to the very last stage of our meeting. This was the first Polish Sharjah webinar, Polish Sharjah investment webinar. Thank you to all the panelists. Let me just sum up quickly. So thank you to all the embassies. Thank you to His Excellency Marwan. Thank you to Mr. Grzegorz Sumkowski, who has also underlined the importance of organizing another meeting, Invest in Poland, for investors from Sharjah. So you're also very welcome to organize with us this second event. Of course, next coming the Poland UAE Business Forum during Expo. So I would also like to give the floor to the Sharjah panelists now to a quick sum up, maybe to Mr. Mohammed Al-Musharraf, also with just one question from our audience, because we will be talking a lot about Expo in Dubai, but we wanted to make Sharjah known, because Sharjah might somehow get lost in all this Dubai promotion. So I wanted to ask you just this one question and a quick summary. What are the advantages of opening your business in Sharjah rather than, example, Dubai?
I mean, it's at the end of the day, we all complement each other. a company in Dubai can operate in Sharjah, a company in Sharjah can operate in Dubai. But I mean, it all depends on the company and what are they looking for exactly. Each emirate has its own competitive advantage. So for example, if it is a financial company, I would advise them to go and open a company in Dubai in the DIFC because we don't cater to this sector. If it was an oil and gas, for example, I would advise them to go to open in Abu Dhabi because Abu Dhabi is more focused on oil and gas. If it is defense, I will definitely again encourage them to open in Abu Dhabi. Well, we in Sharjah have our own competitive advantages as well, and sectors that we are focusing on. We have heard from Dr. Khalid, from Mr. Ali, what we offer for companies and media, for example, and digitalization and innovation and technology. And beside what I have mentioned with all the focus on manufacturing in the Emirate of Sharjah. Trade is something, for example, that we are also looking at. Publishing is another sector. Education is another sector. And then I think the cost effectiveness as well of the cost effectiveness versus the facilities that you will find to what you are paying. I mean, and the Emirate of Sharjah, the facilities that these companies will get for their investments here in Sharjah, the ease of the process of the government when it comes to the paperwork and all of this. So again, it's not about who is better, but it's all about the company, where you want to be and what are you looking for exactly. I think this is the best answer I can provide.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mohammed. I'm sure lots of investors from Poland will find Sharjah the best place in the UAE, as we have had a lot of participants from the technology sector. So thank you to Sharjah, thank you, Your Excellency, Dr. Khalid, thank you, Ali, thank you, Mr. Mohammed, thank you again, Your Excellency Marwan. We have also presented a few financial tools from our Polish Development Fund. Mr. Wojciech, who is no longer with us, Mr. Arkadiusz, Mr. Maciej, and also last but not least, I would like to give maybe the last word to Mr. Grzegorz Słomkowski, maybe just a quick thank you to Sharjah. Mr. Grzegorz.
Thank you very much for this meeting. I think that we have enlightened the scope of opportunities which we should together take. And I do hope that it's a beginning of a bigger and very successful cooperation. Thank you very much, all of the participants.
Thank you all. Thank you for this meeting. Thank you for your time. We keep in touch regarding your projects. We hope to bring success to each and every one of you. Thank you for this first Polish Sharjah investment webinars, and I hope to see you soon in the next events. Thank you. Enjoy your day.